This is News 4 In Depth. Restrictions used during the pandemic, changing immigration policy at the U.S.-Mexico border.
What the hell has to happen for you to change policy? At what point are you going to take this seriously?
Title 42 allowed authorities to turn away millions of migrants at the border for the past 3 years.
You know, the border crisis is real.
But with the health emergency ending, so is the Trump-era policy.
The magnitude and size of that challenge is about to get a whole lot bigger.
Officials are now preparing for a surge in border crossings.
They're saying possibly 2,000 people coming through San Antonio a day, which would be higher than ever before.
Many migrants risking it all to find a better life here in the U.S.
If I made that difficult journey, I believe others can make it too.
Some waiting, going through the legal process. Others crossing over illegally. Who's coming across? What's being done to protect our borders? And how officials are going to keep you safe. News 4 San Antonio has crews across the state digging deeper into the end of Title 42.
Good evening and welcome to News 4 In Depth. I'm Simone D'Alba. Tonight we're taking a deep dive into the end of Title 42 and what it means for you. We have team coverage spanning the state, covering every angle on the impact of Title 42, which ends tonight at 11. We have crews in the air and on the ground in Eagle Pass, Laredo, the Rio Grande Valley, El Paso, and here in San Antonio. With just a few hours left before the expiration of Title 42, we begin our team coverage in McAllen, where News 4 San Antonio's Robert Price is live. Robert, how are things looking there tonight? Good evening.
Well, good evening, Simone. I asked the mayor of McAllen to describe the mood right now. He says it's one of concern. He says migrants don't want to stay here, but many don't have the financial resources to continue moving north. And that leaves cities and shelters in this area overwhelmed. Take, for example, McAllen. They were expecting to take in maybe 2,000 to 3,000 migrants over the next week. Well, instead, they're getting 2,000 a day, and Title 42 has not even been lifted yet.
Right now, we're having to deal with the laws that exist. So we're moving from a Title 42 to a Title 8, and it's just going to make it a little harder for them and less flexible for them in being able to send immigrants back. So we just do the best we can with the tools that we have.
We always say, this is not our responsibility, it's not our issue, but it's our problem now. And fortunately, we have been able to get some federal funding this time to allow us to help the federal government.
Coming up in about 10 minutes from now, we will take you inside the largest shelter for migrants in South Texas. It's the building we're standing in front of right now, the Catholic Charities Humanitarian Respite Center, which is very much at capacity. For now, though, reporting live in the Rio Grande Valley, Robert Price, News 4 San Antonio.
Robert, thank you. San Antonio is the nearest transportation hub from border cities, meaning we're likely to see a surge in migrants coming through our city. So what is San Antonio doing to help them while they're here and to keep them moving to their final destination? Well, we've reached out to police, city and county leaders multiple times, asking their plan in the event of a migrant influx. The mayor's office says they're in regular contact with federal and nonprofit partners, are monitoring the situation closely. What we do know is most of them end up at the Migrant Resource Center, which is managed by Catholic Charities. It offers services to help the migrants expedite their travel plans, eat, shower, even sleep. Catholic Charities says many of the people coming to San Antonio are of Venezuelan, Haitian, or Cuban descent. The Migrant Resource Center is designed to serve 700 people per day, but it's been over capacity for weeks. And Catholic Charities estimates that San Antonio could now see 2,000 more people per day. City officials tell us over the past week, the number of migrants sheltered at the MRC has quadrupled. To put it in perspective, about 7,600 migrants visited the center in March. That number grew to nearly 15,000 in April. San Antonio has partnered with the city of Austin to help with the influx of migrants. They're serving as they pass through the city for asylum seekers.
We will continue to be a partner to them as long as necessary. The main reason why we're assisting is there's only a limited number of available seats to travel out of the San Antonio airport.
The city and Catholic Charities say they will continue to operate the center at capacity for as long as possible, but they tell us more federal funding is crucial. The number of migrants waiting at the airport has also quadrupled in just the past week. Some of them tell us they've been waiting there at least 24 hours to catch a flight. We did reach out to the city and airport officials to see if they have a plan. Neither organization disclosed any information of how they'll move forward, but possibly some relief. Sources with the city of Austin tell us dozens of migrants are being bused from San Antonio to Austin's airport 5 days a week. On the state front, a specialized unit called the Texas Tactical Border Force is on the southern border. They're assisting the National Guards and Border Patrol agents to deter migrants from entering the country illegally. And the Texas House has given final approval to a sweeping border protection and funding measure that would create a state border policing unit.
It's projects like that this elite National Guard team will be focused on to identify hotspot crossings like that, shut it down so that we can stop illegal immigration into the state of Texas.
This week, the House also approved sending nearly $100 million to border communities for new detention centers, courts, border security, higher education, and economic development projects. Back at the border, 1,500 active duty troops have arrived under a call from the Biden administration. We spoke with several sheriffs in border counties who don't think it's enough to stop the surge. The troops will conduct data entry and work in warehouses. We're told they will not do any law enforcement activities. New tonight, Homeland Security Secretary issuing a firm warning. Immigrants who enter illegally are presumed ineligible for asylum. They face a 5-year ban. He adds the migrant policy transition will be, quote, swift and immediate. Preparations are already underway in Eagle Pass, and this is what it looked like when our South Texas Ford dealer Sky 4 flew over the area just a short time ago. When we talk about people on the front lines of the border crisis, we don't just mean the men and women wearing uniforms. We're also talking about the people who run the non-governmental agencies like Mission Border Hope here in Eagle Pass. Valeria Wheeler, the executive director, tells us most of the migrants just need a place to get things in order and coordinate travel to their final destination. Even though a lot of things are unknown, once Title 42 expires this evening, Wheeler and her staff plan to figure out a way to serve everyone who walks through their doors.
We can take up to 1,200 people. That's the maximum that we've taken in the past. And the amount of people that can be processed by Border Patrol in the sector is 1,900. There's other organization in Del Rio that it's also very supportive. So that's what we are, we know right now, yes.
You help each other out.
Yes.
Wheeler was told to expect about 500 people today, but that number may go up with the surge that's expected tonight. We have a crew keeping an eye on things in Laredo. We learned migrants coming through Laredo wind up at a temporary shelter that's treated more like a processing center. They say no more than a few days before moving on to another city on their way to their final destination. Many of them could even end up here in San Antonio. Title 42 has been at the center of the border controversy since it was imposed in 2020. Immigration advocates said it was an effort to keep people out of the country. Government officials said it was preventing the mass spread of COVID. The News 4i team's Jordan Elder joins us with a look at the policy's history.
We've known for months that Title 42 would eventually come to an end. Now, this is actually the third time the policy has gotten this close to expiring. So here's how we got here. Title 42 actually comes from this act passed way back in 1944. It established the federal government's quarantine authority. Fast forward then to March of 2020 when COVID hit, the Trump administration imposed the act, saying it would be too difficult to detain people crossing the border in group settings. This policy was extended over and over all the way until May of 2022. The Biden administration tried to end Title 42, but a court blocked that, so expulsions continued. Then in November of 2022, a judge declared that this policy was illegal. So then it was set to end again in December. The Supreme Court, however, granted a stay, meaning expulsions could still continue. That leads us to right now, May of 2023, when Title 42 is set to end yet again, along with the COVID public health emergency. Moving forward, the Biden administration will reinstate penalties for illegal crossing attempts, require appointments for asylum applications, and rely on Title 8. Reporting in studio, I'm Jordan Elder.
Jordan, thank you. Officials will go back to using Title VIII once Title 42 expires. It was widely used at the border before the pandemic started, and it allows Border Patrol agents to process and remove migrants who do not have a legal basis to remain in the U.S. and cannot be expelled under Title 42, such as those with a criminal background or who can't prove legal basis to stay on U.S. soil. Well, things are constantly evolving on our border tonight. We go back live to McAllen next. And with Title 42 ending, what do you think should be done to protect our borders and address the migrants seeking asylum? Join our conversation on the News 4 Facebook page.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio. You're watching News 4 in depth.
The hardest part for some of them is that they want us to tell them what to do, and we really can't do that. We have to inform them and then let them make those decisions for themselves.
The scene in downtown El Paso looks a bit different today. The Diocese of El Paso is working to direct migrants and let them know their options. Many migrants are choosing to present themselves at processing centers in hopes of being granted asylum. Just a few hours south of us, we go back out to Robert Price live in McAllen, where the local migrant shelter there is already at capacity. Robert, good evening.
Good evening, Simone. This afternoon, we had a chance to take a tour inside this migrant shelter here behind me, the Catholic Charities Humanitarian Respite Center, as they call it. Got to talk to some of the families about their journeys and what they think about the shelter itself. They described it as a safe space, a place to come in from the heat, cool off, get some sleep, stock up on toiletries, or just be a kid. I've seen a lot of children inside today. The problem is the shelter only holds 1,500 people.
We have already started to see for all this past week, numbers increasing, people crossing already, and Border Patrol releasing higher numbers to us, and we're being able to manage and help because we already done this already for the past 10 years. How many people are coming? We have no clue, but we're expecting a lot. You know, we hope that we can handle whatever comes.
With the shelter full, the overflow crowd has now started going to a nearby park, a portion of which has been blocked off to the public and turned into a tent facility. Now that park can only hold a few thousand people, so running out of a space is very much a concern. Simone?
Robert, we'll be checking in with you for updates throughout the evening. Thank you. Still to come, for in-depth coverage continues. Let's go back out to Robert Price live in McAllen. Robert.
Good evening, Simone. It's been a long day and a long week of planning and coordination down here in the Rio Grande Valley. In fact, if you take a look behind me, you can see a large group of people just arrived at this migrant shelter run by Catholic Charities. We may still have a few hours until Title 42 goes away, but officials say that expected surge is already happening. You know, a bit ago, we had a chance to actually show you the inside of this migrant shelter here in McAllen. Well, we also had the chance to talk to some of the migrants, hear some of their stories. One woman from Venezuela said it took her a month to get to this point. We will share some of those stories tonight at 10. But for now, reporting live in McAllen, Robert Price, News 4, San Antonio.
Our live team coverage from the border continues all evening. You can count on News 4 San Antonio for comprehensive coverage from Eagle Pass, Laredo, the Rio Grande Valley, and El Paso. And join our Title 42 discussion on Facebook. Search News 4 SA. We also want to hear what major topic you think we should tackle in our next in-depth newscast. Be sure to share your ideas and your comments. Thank you for joining us. We hope we helped you better understand how the end of Title 42 will impact you.